Breaking news, folks. Minnesota Vikings star running back, former MVP of the National Football League, on the heels of another star running back having a domestic violence scandal. Yet another one arises for the National Football League, as apparently over the weekend there was an incident involving Adrian Peterson and his son where he took the discipline a little bit too far. Some violence involving more than hand on butt or a little slap on the wrist or something. Seems like some extreme violence may have occurred. Jay Glazer is reporting this. All the NFL sources are reporting this. It's on Felger and Maz. This is yet another scandal in this week from hell that has been for the NFL. Obviously the Ray Rice scandal and Roger Goodell possibly at the helm of a cover-up. Did the NFL know or not know? Now yet another scandal. And what makes me even sick, and I know the guys in the Sports Hub are ranting about it, what makes me even sicker about this is that Adrian Peterson, who is supposed to turn himself in, according to police from Texas, is trying to cut a deal so he could play on Sunday against the Patriots. Now, I don't care if he was playing against the Patriots, the Seahawks, the Broncos, the Niners, the Cowboys. I do work for the Patriots, and I support the Patriots along with the 49ers as my two teams. But this has nothing to do with who they're playing. Adrian Peterson should not play this Sunday. And at this point, yet another moral hit. This league, top to bottom, is full of corruption, corrupt owners, corrupt coaches, players who, you know, what more can we see from these star players? Woman beating, child abuse. This is getting sickening. This is getting absolutely sickening. I love the NFL. I've been a big NFL fan. I've worked for the National Football League for the past 12 seasons for the New England Patriots. But something needs to change. I've feared for this league in terms of just for the sheer safety and where they're going, that this league may be in trouble in 10 to 20 years. May turn into something more resembling flag football just because of the wussification and dumbing down of the violence due to the excessive injuries that have been had. You saw it just yesterday. Dude sacks Roethlisberger, gets called for roughing the passer. It was a sack. He didn't even drive him barely to the ground. It was a sack. So you see it with that. But obviously this league, I mean, what more scandals can come out? Adrian Peterson, who's, by the way, did have a son who passed away a few years ago, whose stepfather, or the father of the boyfriend of the mother of that child had apparently excessively beaten that child to death, and Adrian Peterson had no relationship with this child, had barely met the kid. I'm not trying to speak on Adrian Peterson's personal life, but obviously now it's out there. And this just makes me sick. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, whoever's listening out there, whoever's watching these videos, I appreciate the support, but right now I am sick to my goddamn stomach at this story. Are you kidding me? Now let's not get it twisted. I do feel that my stance on people putting their hands on kids, I think light contact is not the worst thing in the world, because I think kids do need a healthy respect for their parents, and I'm not saying beat them or anything like that, but I was kind of the last age of people who grew up in that era where, you know, maybe you'd get whacked on the butt or whacked upside the head or whacked on the wrist if you got out of line. But, you know, obviously this is not a case of that. It doesn't appear. This is a case of weapons getting involved on a defenseless child. And honestly, it makes me sick. Adrian Peterson, what the hell? Glad I didn't draft you in any fantasy leagues, or Ray Rice for that matter. I had the foresight, at least not to touch either one of you gentlemen. But, I mean, this is just getting sickening. The domestic violence, the violence against women, children, enough is enough. Come on, NFL. It's time for a change. This is my call to action. It's time for a change. It's time for people to start realizing this is 2014. You know, everybody's on this moral high ground kick. Well, you gotta practice what you preach. And beating kids, not the answer, folks. Beating your wife, not the answer, folks. Stay tuned to the Joe Passarelli channel on YouTube for more updates on this story and many other stories in the world of sports and wrestling. Stay tuned to the Strike Zone every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m., rickradio.org. Thank you for everyone who tuned in and called in to the show last night. Also, stay tuned to the Wrestling Throwdown with myself and Haley Hines for all the wrestling reviews. Haley Hines, the host of that venture, doing a great job. Look for the NXT review of last night's TakeOver. I did not watch it. From what I heard, it was outstanding. Great reviews there. Certainly a lot better reviews than the NFL is getting this week. It's been the week from hell for the NFL. And it is continuing now, going into the weekend cycle of news stories on this Adrian Peterson news story. And quite frankly, it makes me sick. Subscribe.